Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Zampolin, core developer with Cosmos Network. Cosmos is building an ecosystem of blockchains that have interoperability, or the ability to communicate across chains, an important function of decentralized finance that allows for scale and usability. Jack, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Jill, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us about decentralized finance, or what we call DeFi, and what are those working in the DeFi space hoping to achieve?
So DeFi is a lot of the things that you're going to find in traditional finance: borrowing, lending, savings accounts, things like that, but they're managed by blockchain networks instead of by banks. So a decentralized set of actors managing those networks as opposed to just one company.
What are the benefits to DeFi compared to traditional financial institutions?
I think it gets down to that idea of a decentralized set of actors controlling the network and the transactions that happen on it, as opposed to one company. With banks and sort of traditional financial institutions, there's a consolidation of decision making in a smaller set of hands. And with DeFi, there's many more people who have the ability to change these systems, modify them, participate in them. And that has a lot of benefits over traditional finance. And I think we're seeing those out in the wild today.
What should investors looking to get into the DeFi space consider? How can those unfamiliar get more involved?
You know, I think that you should go out there and grab maybe a couple $100 and just go try a couple of these protocols. I think it's really hard for average investors and users to understand exactly what DeFi is without experiencing it for the first time. I remember the first time I used like MakerDAO and pulled out a loan on the Ethereum blockchain. It was kind of this huge aha moment for me, where I was like, oh, wow, all of these things that you can do with banks that take talking to 3 or 4 people and, you know, opening accounts and doing all this stuff, you can do on chain with a fraction of the time and at a fraction of the cost in a lot of cases. So, yeah.
So, Jack, how large is the DeFi sector currently, and how big could it be a few years from now when we think about it through a monetary perspective? What should investors who are looking for growth opportunity consider?
I think that there's a number of different, so as far as how large is the DeFi sector, there's a bunch of different ways to measure it. If you go to DeFi Pulse, they'll probably say it's like somewhere between 50 and 100 billion. If you include all of the proof of stake chains and some of the other DeFi that's happening on places like Solana and Cosmos, where I work, that number might be a little bit larger, maybe the 150 to 200 billion. But as far as where can it go, I think that easily in the trillions of dollars. And as far as where should you look for growth, there's enough in the DeFi space right now that you can kind of look for growth in areas where you're personally confident. You know, if you have a bit of a finance background and you're really good, you work on structured products, there's a really active community of folks building structured products in DeFi. If you're looking for, you know, if you have a background in exchanges and different types of options and limit orders and things like that, the decentralized exchange marketplace is really heating up right now. You know, we're at Cosmos, we're launching the Gravity DEX, which is a decentralized exchange. There's another decentralized exchange on Cosmos called Osmosis. I think folks are probably most familiar with Uniswap, which is the world's largest. They just launched a new version. The company I'm working at right now, Sommelier, is building tools for liquidity providers on Uniswap v3. So whatever your expertise in traditional finance is, whatever your expertise in traditional investing is, there's going to be a corner of DeFi for you. And I think that that's one of the huge benefits of the space, and for investors, really nice, because I think a lot of this blockchain tech especially can be really intimidating for people. And having something to sort of anchor your understanding in is a key part of finding something.
So, Jack, in the last minute here, let's talk about Cosmos a bit. Explain to us more where you fit within the blockchain and DeFi ecosystem. What are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So Cosmos started back in 2015, building out proof of stake. And, you know, that's a very, very jargony thing, but it's essentially a very different way to add transactions to the blockchain. So Bitcoin has mining, proof of stake has validators, and I would encourage folks to go look at that. But that has a number of benefits, much faster user experience, 10 minutes for Bitcoin blocks, there's about 5 seconds for Cosmos blocks. But the biggest benefit is it allows for this type of interoperability much more easily and in much shorter timeframes. And what we've shipped recently is this thing called inter-blockchain communication that allows any two blockchains to connect and transfer value and arbitrary data between them. So that means smart contracts on Ethereum interacting with functionality over on Cosmos, interacting with things over on Solana. And the longer and longer this blockchain world continues to be built, the more we're seeing there's going to be thousands of these chains. There's going to be people all over the world spinning these things up. And they're all going to have to talk to each other, or else they're going to be kind of cut off from this core blockchain world. And there's going to be big chains like Ethereum 2 and the Cosmos Hub, and there's going to be small chains like individual companies doing all kinds of things. And Cosmos is built for that world, and we're just starting to see kind of an explosion of these DeFi products on Cosmos. I'm personally working on a bridge over to Ethereum. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I would encourage folks to go check it out. Cosmos.network is the
All right. Sounds good, Jack. We appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill.